What's your plan for tomorrow? Are you a leader or will you follow? Are you a fighter or will you cower? It's our time to take back the power. What's your plan for tomorrow? Are you a leader or will you follow? Are you a fighter or will you cower? It's our time to take back the power. What you gonna do when the show...
Hello, this is Matt Bergman, and you are listening to the Punk Rock Libertarians podcast. Episode 14. I'm here with Alexis Schlegel.
Hello.
And Jared Schneiderman.
Yo, what's up?
How's it going?
Pretty good, man.
You guys ready to deliver the documents?
Dude, I got a load of documents right here.
Yeah, a load.
A load. Yeah. A load.
Cool,
Yes.
cool.
Yeah.
So, what's up on tonight's agenda?
Dude, you hear about the idiot that killed himself with a firework over 4th of July?
I did hear about that. Did you hear about it from the article that I wrote?
No, I heard about it from CNN.
Oh,
JK.
Okay. Yeah, man, it's pretty crazy. So anyways, his mom is campaigning for or I guess promoting the harsher firework laws in Maine. You know, she says, for stuff that's going to explode, you should have to pass a training course or shit, because it isn't obvious enough that, these things are designed to explode and you maybe shouldn't light them off on your head.
Are you sure that's obvious?
Yeah. So I don't know. I just, it's just more than nanny state, I believe, I think Maine just legalized fireworks in 2012, and they had been illegal since 1949 or something, or at least I'm not sure which ones they legalized, but apparently in 2012 that they since then they've allowed some more serious fireworks, and this is the first firework related death since then.
Right.
And now the nanny staters are calling for more legislation.
Stricter fireworks laws.
But I mean, not like it really matters, but I mean, clearly this guy was misusing the firework. It isn't like someone lit off a firework properly and something went wrong and they died from it. I mean, either way, obviously, I'm not going to support any sort of nanny state action on this, but the fact that it was just purely the result of stupidity, I mean, I just can't believe that anyone's taking it seriously.
Someone just tell the mom that he should have been a blowjob.
Yeah, exactly. Right.
Bottom line.
Should have pulled out.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
But it's kind of ridiculous. The day after that, she's calling, really? Come on now.
Yeah. Well,
you totally get it though, because it's kind of so many people for so many years. How many times have you heard there ought to be a law?
Right.
So it's basically the gut reaction of your modern day religion of statism is to there ought to be a law.
Right. So yeah, the gut reaction of everybody is to just, instead of saying, well, how could we prevent this in the future through just, and I don't even think it needs to be talked about in that manner. I mean, it was just one idiot, but for other issues, there's never any discussion of voluntary methods of solving the problem. It's always well, we need a law. We need a gun pointed at us.
Yeah, I mean, it's the cheap go-to.
Right. It's the easy, quick fix that isn't really a fix. Because people are just going to buy, just like in Maryland, people buy fireworks illegally. You make it illegal there, they're just going to go to, I don't know, do the neighboring states have legal fireworks?
Yeah, we can buy them in Pennsylvania. I can't.
No, I'm saying in Maine, where this happened.
In Maine, I believe that they're illegal there right now.
They're illegal.
They're legal. They've been legal since 2012.
No, what I'm saying is, are there neighboring states that are legal as well?
I'm not sure about that.
Well, I mean, either way, they'll find a way to get fireworks. Doesn't
Yeah, I
really
mean,
matter.
I've lived in a state where they've been illegal for at least all my life, and I can't remember a 4th of July where somebody in my group of friends or family didn't have illegal fireworks to throw around.
Yeah.
So it's not like the laws really work. I mean, everybody lights them
it works
off.
as well as drug prohibition, really.
Exactly. I mean, they're on the 4th of July, I mean, you can hear all throughout my neighborhood, or probably any neighborhood.
Yeah.
You're going to hear some illegal fireworks going off, and it just means that everybody had to drive a fucking, hour out to bumfuck PA to get them.
Right.
But, it doesn't stop them.
And the only reason why cops ever come around for that shit is because some asshole called them.
Isn't it like in PA too? They're like illegal for Pennsylvania residents or something.
Yeah, you can't
But
buy them.
yeah, so like
What?
they won't. I think it's something fucked up. Like their people can't buy them, but they'll sell them to people from other states.
Yeah, they're
So they don't care if they're illegal in Maryland because it's like, you're not going to light them off here.
there's this weird. There's this
That's
weird. They must have
hilarious.
found some weird loophole in the law, because this was like probably going back to like 2006 when I was active duty Air Force, and like I was up in the Poconos, which borders New Jersey, and snowboarding, and came across a
Snowboarding. That sounds pretty extreme.
It
Were you
was.
drinking
It was
Mountain Dew at the time?
I was, but yeah, it was basically like this roadside stand. It was like, and they had this advertising for fireworks, and you pull up, and they had these huge signs like absolutely no Pennsylvania residents, and so I go in, but technically I was living in Maryland, and but they said no, it doesn't matter. Like, you have a Pennsylvania ID, you can't buy.
So they do ID you?
Yeah, like they ID you, and they basically even stated like you can't even if you have Pennsylvania like license plate, you can't even pull into the parking lot.
Wow.
And they had all these, so apparently you can buy them in Pennsylvania, and they're all on the border, so to sell to out of state. Like,
Right.
But they must have found, I don't know, some loophole.
I'm surprised they even allow that. I mean, I guess they like the tax money.
I guess I don't know, but yeah, it was bizarre. They literally kicked me out. They said, you got to leave. So I went back out, and I told my ex at the time, who lived in New York, I was like, hey, go in there and get whatever.
Mm-hmm.
So, but yeah, it's kind of ridiculous.
I think they're legal in Virginia too, right? West Virginia? Definitely West Virginia.
I don't know. It seems like everything should be illegal in West Virginia, but I don't know, man. It's fucking. Man, that just makes me think, though. West Virginia, it is a beautiful state.
Yeah, it's just a little backwards in some areas, but
Yeah, I mean, you're going to say there's like a lot of rednecks and shit.
Yeah.
And I would agree with you.
at
I
least
mean,
they'll leave you
it's-
alone for the most part, right?
I mean, yeah. I mean, like, anytime, like, believe it or not, I found myself when I was in Tenwatch, like, we played a few shows out there, and it was pretty cool. you
Yeah.
know? I mean, yeah, everybody I talked to out there was nice.
Oh, that's cool. It's probably just gets a bad name by like just haters.
Well, I mean,
You know?
granted, there's going to be your stereotypical West Virginians. That's why there is stereotypes.
Right, yeah.
There is a little bit of truth to them.
Right, of course.
So, and that kind of leads into like one of our topics tonight. Like earlier this week, Julie Borowski made a video about political correctness is killing comedy.
Right.
And what do you guys think about that?
Well, I mean, I actually didn't watch the actual video, but I've been following like a whole bunch of the different comedians that have been bitching about that. Like, I think Chris Rock came out and said it like
Jerry
a year ago.
Seinfeld.
Jerry Seinfeld said something. Apparently, Larry the Cable Guy was featured in the video.
This is shit that like I've been saying since I was like a teenager in the mid '90s. It's like, I mean, because there's always been this like fucking, if you watch like '90s TV and compare it to like '70s television, there was just shit that you couldn't say then, and of course it's been getting worse ever since, but I mean, like I've always been under the mindset where it's like, if you say like, you can't use this word or say this word, ultimately you're just giving that word more power and you're just making it even funnier.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's
That was
like
George Carlin's like, what was it, like 7 words you can't say on TV or something like that? Do you remember that whole bit?
yeah,
But basically he was talking about that shit back in the early 90s. Just how, like, yeah, the whole PC movement, it's not a recent thing. It's been going on since probably since like media came out, but more recently, or at least in the past like 20 years, you had like all the lawsuits against what was it, like 2 Live Crew, when they came out with, they like almost went to jail over their like album. And then you had like the parental advisory whole fiasco, which we're still living with today.
yeah, Tipper Gore.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, I mean, it's definitely not a recent thing, but it's getting to the point where like comedians won't play at colleges because the kids are ultra PC. Any joke that has to do with rape or like makes fun of women or is racist or whatever, it just does not fly on campus.
or like plays into stereotypes.
Which is absurd because it's comedy. The whole point of comedy is to poke fun of those things. The whole point of comedy is to make light of things that are serious.
Yeah, I mean, it's weird too. It's kind of like when you poke fun at those things too. You can find ways of poking fun at them. I mean, a lot of times you're kind of just like making fun of those things or those. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like you are kind of like looking down at them. Like a lot of times when you make fun of them, but it's like.
Right.
Politically correctness makes it to where you just can't bring it up at all because in some way one of these asshats is going to construe that you're a racist or you're sexist,
right,
or whatevs.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty. And then when Seinfeld's talking about it, I mean, Seinfeld's pretty relatively safe.
Yeah.
When he doesn't want to do college campuses, it's like, whoa, wait a minute.
Yeah, I know. I was thinking that. What the fuck? It's like, dude, Jerry Seinfeld. What have you ever said that was controversial? But I don't know. There was the Seinfeld television show. I don't think I've ever seen the guy do stand-up.
What's the deal with?
Yeah, I mean, if you're finding that offensive, what?
It's like you know it's bad when Jerry Seinfeld has to speak up. You know it's bad.
Yeah. Yeah.
Totally.
Yeah, I was pretty shocked. It was a couple years ago. Dave Attell was at Towson University, and I was like, wow, Dave Attell.
That's awesome.
Yeah,
I love Dave Attell.
Yeah, but I mean, this was a couple years ago. But even still, but nowadays, hell no.
No. Which sucks, man. I mean, fortunately, there is still comedy, and there's still a lot of up-and-coming comedians that are hilarious and don't give a shit. But, man, I know a lot of them just catch a whole bunch of shit on the internet, on Twitter.
See, I mean, I don't know. I think, it's an issue right now, and it's an issue more than it should be. But, I mean, it's just the fact that all these people are making it an issue. It just makes it even more funny. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And, I honestly feel that, Americans have a rebellious spirit, It's we rebelled away from Britain, you know what I mean? We've had that rebellious spirit ever since. So, I think there's a certain truth to that.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I don't know. I don't see comedy dying now. I see some people whining and, other people are like, fuck you.
Yeah. No, and I don't think it's even a majority of people.
And there's always going to be that fuck you element. And especially now with the internet and shit, I mean, you could I imagine somebody could just become a famous comedian just by getting a lot of fucking YouTube plays. You know what I mean?
Yeah, or just starting a podcast or, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, just doing whatever. So it's not even like you have to even be invited to this, big, Comedy Central thing or whatever.
Right.
But, even as far as Comedy Central goes, I mean, I can think of a bunch of not PC things on there. I mean, they fucking air South Park,
Yeah. Well, that's the thing about South Park is they can do whatever the fuck they want. They're at the point where Comedy Central just leaves them alone. They can say or do whatever they want.
I wonder if Comedy Central gives other people shit. I've never heard about that. I mean, do they?
I don't know. I mean, there's a lot of raunchy shit on Comedy Central.
Yeah, I mean that's what I'm saying. I mean, they seem to be pretty cool as far as not giving people shit. They
but I don't know. I heard
what did you hear?
I heard the whole reason the Chappelle show went off the air was because they wanted him to stop using the N-word. And he was like, "No, fuck you. That's part of my comedy. That's what I do. I use that word."
I didn't hear that. I'm shocked by that, dude.
No, that's what I've heard.
Because everybody knows it's not racist if you're black and you use the word.
Yeah, but the problem is you get all these fucking producers in on these big shows.
The Jewish producers.
Exactly. But yeah, I don't know. That's what I heard.
The Jew producers.
I think I heard that on Joe Rogan actually.
Really, dude?
Yeah.
Huh.
Which leads us to another topic. If you want to get, unless you want to say more on this.
Yeah, I could talk about politically correctness and PC is BS all day.
Yeah.
It's total utter BS.
I mean, it's really just thought control and speech control.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. It's saying, oh, this is the correct way to think and speak. You know. And did you see the other trend that's happening now? Apparently, people are going around and taking Confederate flags off private property, and destroying them, videotaping it, and posting on social media.
Oh no, I didn't see that.
Yeah,
It's
I
like a
read like an
challenge.
article about that earlier. I'm not sure like how prevalent it is, but I mean, you could see it happening.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, it's just so fucked up. I mean, you're stealing private property.
Right.
Yeah, like I don't know. The Confederate flag drama that's going on, like just it's like I find myself like I know we talked about it. I think the past couple weeks, I think we brought it up, but it's even pissing me off today.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm just thinking about it. I mean, people treat it like the war was fought only over only slavery and all, and that was it. You know what I mean? Well, it was an issue. It's presidents from both sides said it wasn't the main issue, and I don't know. To me, it just seems like the winners, the North, got the right history in their favor. So how can we make ourselves not look like total douchebags? And it's like that's the way they wrote it.
Right.
But it's to say you don't believe in secession is to say you don't believe in the 13 colonies secession from Britain.
Mm-hmm.
And why couldn't any of the states at the time of the Civil War secede from the Union? It's what's the difference? But people don't really talk about the secession like they talk about the slavery.
Right.
And slavery is fucked up. It's probably one of the worst things that can happen. What's worse than slavery? Murder and rape.
Yeah.
And then slavery is probably right there next.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, slavery's fucked, but so is fucking stealing people's property. And it's basically there's a lot of people where like the flag doesn't represent slavery to them, and there are people where the flag does represent slavery to them. But
that's why I mean if you want to fly it on your own personal property, then that's fine. I mean, because if you're doing that, it probably doesn't represent racism to you. I mean, unless you are a racist and you're flying it. But
I'm offended by that.
Yeah, but I mean, if you want to argue about
if you want to fly like a swastika on your own property, you should be able to, or like whatever fucked up flag.
I mean, it just means I got to stay away from your property.
It's your own property, I mean, I'd want to stay. I'd want to stay away from it too.
Yeah,
and it would probably be a great thing because I mean, would you really want to go on somebody's property who wasn't a swastikas? Probably. I mean,
exactly. Yeah.
So it might be a good warning.
Yeah.
Like I might want to stay away from there.
Shun that person.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah. And it really is a shame. When you look at it that way. As far as like shunning people, I mean, you would think that a lot of the same people that want to ban the Confederate flags wouldn't want to hang around with bigots, and this is a surefire way to warn them who the bigots are. Right?
Right. If that's what they believe, right?
I don't know. It's.
Yeah.
I don't know.
It's tough, dude. Like,
yeah, I mean,
I've sort of been staying away from it just because, I don't know. It's. Number one, I don't think it's like.
I mean, it gives me a headache thinking about it, so I'm kind of envious that you can stay away from it. But I mean, it's kind of like
I've gotten good at just like ignoring the issues that just cause me a lot of strife.
Yeah, I mean, it's because like I'm,
and it's not. I just
once again, I wouldn't wear
not,
the flag. It's not something that I would want to be associated with. Just because so many people associate it with racism.
Right. Yeah, I mean, you have to even regardless of what you know about the history or whatever. I mean, you still have to take into account what it means to people, and not.
Well, I mean, you don't have to. I mean, I choose to. So some people might not.
You don't have to.
I'm
just saying,
but
if you
I
want
think it's a good idea too.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I'm not saying we should force people to do anything, but.
Yes, you are. That's what you were implying, Status Jared.
Yeah, something like that.
I flew that flag on the 4th of July, but it was a "Don't Tread on Me" flag. It was "Don't Tread on Me" with the stars and bars. I only wish it had a rainbow background because then it would just like mind fuck everyone.
And your people would be represented.
Yeah, it'd be like, what?
Yo, peeps.
Yeah.
Alexis is peeps.
But it would just offend.
What you mean,
that's like
you
what
people?
we were talking about.
That was bad. I shouldn't have said.
What'd you say?
What you mean, you people? That was a gay people joke though. So
okay.
That's like. I mean, I don't know, dude. I mean, I'm sorry, like fucking,
I'm
like offensive is funny.
I'm offended.
Yeah.
Offensive's funny.
Yeah, and I mean going back to like comedy, it's like if people are laughing, then
Dude,
it's a joke.
I think we can pretty much say everything that we want here, though, because like I mean, Jared, you're Jewish, and Alexis is a gay. I mean,
what are you, Bergman?
we can pretty much say anything we want. Okay, I'm black from the waist down, so we can pretty much get away with anything, dude. When you think about it that way, when you think about it that way.
Yeah.
Okay, hold on. You guys talk for a second. I'm gonna hit this bowl.
All right. No, but what I was saying about comedy, like, if people are laughing, it's a joke. I mean, if you just got up on stage and you just said a bunch of just like overtly racist shit that wasn't funny, you would just get booed off the stage because, number one, and most importantly, you're not funny. And number two, you're clearly just a racist. But if you're able to craft and use racism and make fun of racism, then that's what makes the joke. And as long as that's still funny, there's nothing wrong with it.
I don't know. You lost me. It might just be the herb, or you might be overthinking it. I don't know. Because I mean,
I'm not overthinking it.
Funny's funny. Okay.
That's what I'm saying. Funny is funny. If it's a racist joke, then it's funny.
Let the market decide.
If it's a funny racist joke, then it's a funny racist joke. If it's not a funny racist joke, then it's not funny. You know what I mean?
Yeah, sure. I mean, yeah, totally. And I think a lot of it is like the intent. You know, like when you say something, are you like straight up? Are you straight up intending to like, you know, piss somebody off, or are you just trying to get a laugh?
Right. I mean, it's like when Kramer like just went ballistic and just started shouting the N-word at like some dude in the audience. Like that wasn't a joke anymore. That was just him being a racist.
Oh yeah. I almost forgot about that, dude.
Yeah. Dude, that was fucking nuts.
Dude, what happened to Cosmo Kramer?
I think that killed his career, dude.
That was
I don't think he's coming back from that.
Yeah, Michael Richards. Huh?
Yeah. He kind of fucked himself.
Wow, yeah, I like totally forgot about that, dude.
That was a while ago. It was like 10 years ago.
Yeah, dude. I just blocked his racism from my memory.
You got a dead spot where Kramer used to be.
Yeah, dude. Word. Mm. So, dude, Alexis, you're looking pretty happy tonight.
Yeah. Doing all right. Yeah.
Sweet.
Yeah.
You've been getting involved in any activism lately, or?
No, not really. No.
Bummer.
Yeah.
Well.
So, yeah. So, what about like what Shaggy said this week?
Yeah, about like what do you say? Something about
he said, okay, let me find this headline. This is I thought this was like funny as hell, and it was totally reasonable at the same time.
Was he banging on the bathroom floor?
No. Okay.
Did they catch him red-handed?
He said we can defeat ISIS by sending them Jamaican weed.
What's his theory?
Well, I mean, what do you think? I mean, like, who would you rather be around? Like a violent alcoholic or like a chill pothead?
No,
you know?
I get it.
Yeah. So it's, I don't, you know, I mean, it's so crazy. Like, I mean, so many people understand this, you know, and marijuana is still illegal in so many places and still shunned upon by like so many people.
Yeah.
When, I mean, it's just not as bad as alcohol. You know, and it just shows once again how statism is like, you know, our number one religion, you know, because it's like, you know, because government and all its divinity says that alcohol is okay and marijuana is of the devil, you know. Right. Meanwhile, you know, people smoke pot, you know, they're usually chill, you know, they might eat a few too many Cheetos.
They're usually not out on the road.
Or if they are on the road, they're way more
safer.
Cautious, you know, than like, you know, a drunk who's driving around all crazy, you know. And like, I don't know. I mean, I think it's just, I mean, it is like,
well, you know,
it's cool how so many people are waking up, but also I'm getting way more tolerant when people are just being total retards about marijuana. Did they just talk about it like it's the most horrible thing?
Oh yeah, dude. My patience is completely run out for those.
It's going to lead to like fucking heroin and blah, blah, blah.
That Gary Johnson video was hilarious. That debate at CPAC where he faked the heart attack.
Oh yeah.
Because like that prohibitionist was just like, she was throwing out these statistics that
she was something about heart attacks, right?
Yeah, like said within 10 minutes of smoking marijuana, you're whatever.
You have a 20% higher chance of having a heart attack.
It just like kills over and fakes a heart attack.
Yeah, that's so ridiculous.
But again,
do you think he was blazed for that interview?
I wonder. I mean, it was a debate for
probably
him, but
not.
Probably not. It's just him, Gary being Gary Johnson.
Gary being Gary.
But you know, but it all ties in. Like you gotta have
that would
fear.
be somebody who would be really cool to smoke with, Gary Johnson.
Oh fuck yeah.
Or okay, this might be number one, dude. What if you could just talk Ron Paul into blazing, dude? Just like
for his first time ever.
Yeah, exactly. Smoke with Ron Paul for the first time, dude. You could like auction that off, dude.
Oh yeah,
that could be a fundraiser.
Yeah, dude.
For Rand,
he should do that. I don't know why he doesn't. He's fucking 90 years old.
But the whole statism, it's all fear. So what do you got to fear? ISIS. They're gonna come over here and marijuana, and it's just in order to control people, you have to sell the fear, and that's statism. So
yeah,
ties it. It's kind of something profound that Shaggy said.
I would say so, dude. I would say so.
Where did he say it? Some interview somewhere?
I don't know. I read it in an anti-media article that I then aggregated for punk rock libertarians. So
nice.
But I don't know. I've smoked a lot of herb since then.
I forget.
Yeah, and I'm not cutting people's heads off. So maybe there's something to what he's saying.
Maybe. Because you were thinking about it, weren't you?
Yeah, I mean, before I started smoking. Yeah, totally. Yeah. Nah, but yeah.
No, it's been said a million times, but there's no reason that weed should be illegal. It's just...
Yeah, I mean, when you think about, like, all the strife around the world, and, you think about, like, what it would be like maybe if some of those people started smoking bud, and you kind of feel like the world would be a better place. It would be a safer place, a happier place.
Well, like, in Colorado, and obviously, correlation doesn't necessarily equal causation, but they've seen a severe drop in violent crime since they legalized weed.
Wow.
And they've seen a drop in underage usage of weed. So, yeah, that's pretty awesome.
How do you see a drop in underage usage? I mean,
I don't know. I mean, how do they get those stats, you mean?
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, I don't know.
It's like
Surveys,
I can kind of see how it would make sense because it's like with booze, like a kid isn't gonna be able to just walk into a liquor store typically. Liquor stores typically don't sell to kids. So,
right.
Just like those marijuana places aren't going to sell to kids.
Exactly.
But the thing with Colorado is like, they're taxing the shit out of it. They're bragging about all the money that they're making. But meanwhile, while they're taxing it, they're keeping the prices pretty high with all that tax. So there's still plenty of incentive for the black market. And there's a lot of money to be made, because they're still selling.
Is there still a black market?
In Colorado? Yeah. Uh-huh.
Really?
Yep. Mm-hmm. Because, I've read it. It's just because they're taxing it so much, Yeah. And I mean, I don't know if there's less violence in the black market now or what. I mean, I have heard there's less violence in Colorado, and of course, not everybody's getting it from the black market. Some people are buying it legally.
Yeah.
But the point is, if you throw so many taxes on it, the more taxes you throw on it, the higher you drive up the price, the more incentive the black market is going to have to do it.
Yeah, exactly.
And when I say the black market, what I really mean is the free market.
Yeah.
It's because personally, I would rather see my money go to the neighborhood drug dealer who's mostly just paying to support his own habit, than see what is it, like 50 or 75% and go to like taxes to the government. I mean, I'm not sure how much it is, but I'm guessing it's a lot.
Yeah. Yeah.
We don't have numbers. Alex, did you bring the documents?
No.
Okay, dude. You fucked up there, dude.
Alex has forgotten the documents again.
You need to get Alex Jones to fax these over to you before every podcast.
Do people still fax?
Yeah. I don't know. I have no idea.
I still use fax machines.
Yeah. Okay.
But speaking of comedy, this kind of ties all in with this topic. You guys ever see the comedian Bill Hicks?
Yeah, man, I love Bill Hicks.
When he's talking about like those that are against marijuana, it's like kind of like stating that God made a mistake. Like,
oh, you mean how like religious nut jobs?
Yeah, like it's evil, and it's just like what you're saying is basically God. It's a plant, like
yeah.
So what you're saying is God made a mistake. So and he does this whole skit. It's hilarious. You know what I'm talking about, Matt? No.
Well, I mean, like I grasp the idea,
yeah,
and I would agree with that too.
Yeah. Put up.
Yeah. Bill Hicks is fucking hilarious, or was fucking hilarious. R.I.P.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it totally just seems like insane and unnatural to jail somebody for the possession of a plant.
Yeah.
And it's like it's like Obama pardon is he pardoned yet, or is he going to pardon? It was like 46 people.
Obama?
Yeah, just
For
46
Yeah.
nonviolent drug offenders.
Really?
I was just like,
yeah, dude. Do you have the internet?
it's on the interwebs.
I do. I did not hear this. Are
Yeah.
they like Colorado residents or?
Just I don't know where, but just
Yeah,
46.
it's,
Why not
it's
all
like,
of them then?
Exactly.
I know. I was like, why stop at 46?
Yeah.
There's
Yeah, I
gotta
mean,
be more.
Yeah,
It almost seems like you're just.
I mean,
making
like
a
it's
political
crazy.
move.
Exactly. Yeah. It's 46. You know, it's like no, try more than half of the prison population are in there for nonviolent drug crimes.
Yeah.
You fucking asshole. You're gonna pardon 46 people. I mean, where did you even get these names from? Like, would they fucking win the lottery? You know?
Yeah.
It's like
the pardon lottery.
I mean, good for those people.
Yeah, I would love to see the numbers of non-violent drug offenders in comparison to 46. It's probably harder to win the lottery than to be one of those 46 people that Obama's going to pardon.
No, they had the golden
But
ticket.
congratulations, Barack Obama. You fucking asshole. You know?
Thanks, Obama.
Thanks, Obama. But you know, like liberals are gonna like cheerlead the shit out of it.
Yeah,
Like,
they're
oh
like,
look,
wow, 46.
look what our
It's
look what
Whatever.
our savior did.
You know, I don't know. I mean, because dude, I know a lot of fucking liberals, and it's basically, I don't know. There's a few that get, you know, there's a few that are on the that I can think of that I know that are really on the legalization tip or the end of drug war tip. There are
Just
a
the
few.
tip.
And
No, I
you
know a lot of them are, but
No, and I don't know. Not as many as like, I don't know. That's one cool
Really?
thing I like about libertarians. It's because like libertarians. I mean, I don't know. Of the libertarians I know, I'd say at least like it seems to me like at least 85% of them are just like always on it, and then there's like the 5 to 10% that hate that we talk about it all the time.
right.
And it's like, you know, whatever, dude. With the largest incarceration rate in the fucking world, it's a big
Those
fucking
people
deal.
just don't understand how serious of an issue it is.
Yeah,
In fact,
and,
I think
and
it's
it's
like
some of those people. Some of those people are the variety where you know they don't smoke weed or, you know, so they don't care and they get tired of hearing other people talk about it because you know they don't smoke weed and you know. But so what, dude? Get over it. It's the highest incarceration rate in the world.
I mean, do you want to
it's an
lower? Do you want to
important
lower
issue.
crime? Do you want to lower police brutality?
Yeah, I
These
mean,
are all related issues.
Do you want to
yeah,
restore
do you
your
want
civil
smaller
liberties?
government? You know, do you want to pay for less people in prison?
Yeah.
Yeah, you got to be able to think beyond your fucking like conditioning. you
Yeah,
know?
so I mean, in a lot of ways, I think to most libertarians, the drug war is the most important thing going on because I mean, it's fucked up. It's affecting a lot of people. A lot of people are kidnapped, imprisoned, you know, cast into rape cages, rape dungeons, you know,
And it's
over
it's also
possessing the wrong
something-
type of vegetation in their pocket.
Right. And it's also something that we could end instantly. You know, it's not like all the other things that anarchists
Yeah,
or
I mean-
libertarians want. Like, you
Yeah,
know,
like Obama could have like an executive order, dude.
yeah.
I mean, you know,
But I think he actually could.
I mean, dude, that would be great. That would be one executive order. That would be fucking awesome.
Yeah. Or even, even the Supreme Court could argue that it's unconstitutional, right?
Hopefully, you
I
know,
don't know,
and
but-
I think that the tragedy of this too is like, you know, and it's could you imagine if everybody was pardoned, right? We're talking some of these people have been in jail for like fucking like 40, 50 years on a drug charge, you know? And then imagine when you get out and it's like you don't know how to live in society anymore, and then some of these people are going to go into a life of crime just because they don't know how to live in society anymore.
And because
You know what I mean?
And because they can't get a job because they have a criminal record.
Well, of course, when you release them, you could expunge the records. You know, that's what Rand Paul was talking about doing with the Redeem Act.
Yeah,
like
that would
that's
be-
part of what he was talking about doing. So, but I mean, it's even unfair at that point, though, and it's basically I think people should be held accountable for the crimes that they commit, but everybody else should feel really fucking bad that we let this war go on for that long, to where like, you know, people are thrown into jail. And then by the time they come out of jail and they're actually hanging out with a bunch of real prisoners, they become prisoners.
Right.
You know, because there's like,
Because that's the only way they can survive in prison is to...
yeah, and it's
college of
much of the
criminology.
company that you're keeping.
Yeah.
You know, and it's not that everybody will go to that, but it's like if anybody goes down that route, you know, it just makes it more of a shame.
Right.
It's really, really fucked up.
So it kind of ties into that the Joe Rogan podcast, Jared.
Yeah, yeah. So
that was a smooth Lita and Alex.
Yeah.
Wow, dude.
So
Smooth.
That was hot.
Smooth.
Oh, by the way, I want to just say earlier when I said Alex is gay, he's not. He's bi. I
Just
think,
to clarify.
I think he was mad at me, so I just wanted to like clarify. Okay, go ahead.
He's straight, but he identifies as bi.
Okay.
Yeah. So, are you guys familiar with the Joe Rogan Experience podcast? It's pretty awesome.
Yeah. I've heard a little bit here and there.
Yeah. No, I'm a pretty religious listener of it, but the last one I listened to, he had on this guy Michael A. Wood, who is an ex-Baltimore police officer, and it was really awesome.
Michael A. Wood kind of sounds like a porn star name.
Yeah, a little bit, dude. But anyways, yeah, like he was on there, and he was just essentially exposing all of the fucking horrible shit that the police department in Baltimore and in other similar police departments do on a regular basis.
That was a tongue twister.
Yeah, kind of got caught up there. But
so, like, what did he expose? Did you hear anything new, or was it just cool because it was like coming from the mouth of a former cop?
I mean, most of it was kind of stuff I already knew. I mean, he
of course, because you know everything.
Yeah, well, the walking encyclopedia here, man.
All knowing.
Omniscient.
All blowing. Go ahead.
Yeah, let's see, stuff that I didn't really know about. I mean, it was more just like, just coming from his perspective, just how he recognized, and unfortunately he didn't recognize it until he retired. Or he recognized it while I was on the force, but he didn't really do anything about it, which I thought was cool how he said, like, don't hold me up as, like, on a pedestal because I'm as complicit as anybody else in the system. I'm just here because I realized what I did wrong, and I'm telling you all about it, which I thought was really awesome. But, you know, he was talking about how he just saw how the whole cycle, the whole prison cycle, the whole cycle that a lot of just poor Baltimore residents, mainly black people, find themselves in. You know, it just starts off, they don't have fathers. You know, they grow up on the streets. Their mothers can barely take care of them, so they go, and the only thing they can really do.
Like, is it important to note that it's mainly black people, or not? Because
but he was talking about how they definitely. No. But he was talking about how they specifically singled out black people.
Oh no, yeah, totally.
Yeah,
and I think I'm not saying that it isn't important to note because I think that it is. You know, because like I think basically, you know, you're appealing a lot to the left when you do that.
No, not necessarily.
You know what I mean? You're appealing a lot to everybody, but I mean specifically, you know, you're making a huge point to the left. You know?
Yeah.
And I mean, it is important to note because, you know, it's like that dude from the DEA that came out in the past like few months. You know, he said that his boss told him not to bust, you know, people for drugs in black neighborhoods, you know, and, you know, not in black, in white neighborhoods, you know, and the idea is the people in the white neighborhoods, you know, are going to have money for lawyers and then, you know, they're going to have like parents with power, blah, 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 you know. So, you know, they went to the black neighborhoods. And it's like they were just trying to like further the prison industrial complex. So, you know, I think it is important to say that, but, and I think it is, it's totally important, but it's a shame that it's important because I mean, you should just be able to say, you know, there's a lot of fucking people in prison and it doesn't matter what color they are.
Right. No,
you
totally. Know? And I mean, he recognized that.
He brought it up when he was talking about like when he was describing all the neighborhoods because, you know, not many people are familiar with Baltimore, but he was saying like he was up in Mount Washington. He said if he had to get his numbers up, they would go into the neighborhoods because like basically he was stating there was quotas.
They had to hit a quota.
They had to hit a quota. And
they had to
get
like 90%. So they would just jack
like a quota for drugs.
A quota for arrest. Just arrest.
Just arrest.
Yeah.
Arrest.
So they would go and just basically they were running like the whole stop and frisk thing that you heard about in New York. They were doing that in Baltimore too. But the thing is, like, you don't hear about it because in order to report it as a stop and frisk, they have to like file reports regardless of whether they find anything or not. So what they would do, they would just go and do it. If they didn't find anything, they wouldn't say anything about it. And then if they would find something, obviously they'd arrest the guy and just say that, oh, we had reasonable suspicion to arrest this guy. We smelled weed or saw him handing a package or whatever it was. So, I mean, they would specifically go out into black neighborhoods and just find people. And pretty much, I mean, everybody there does have, like, a dime bag on them. They might not all be dealers, but, like, a lot of people smoke weed.
I don't know, though. I mean, but a lot of people in the fucking white neighborhoods do it, too, dude.
Yeah, but...
Well, that's...
yeah, but they're...
Yes. Yeah. I mean, think about it, dude. I mean... Oh, man. Dude, I don't know, man.
There's a higher... But you got to admit that overall there's a higher likelihood in those neighborhoods.
Dude, is there a higher likelihood? I think there's, like... I think for years there's been, like... and it's a beautiful thing about, you know, the culture of that neighborhood is, you know, it's for years there's been, like, fuck you, I smoke weed.
Yeah.
You know, I'm not ashamed of it. There's nothing wrong with smoking weed.
Right.
You know, like, it's a fucking plant. You know, and I think that's cool. Whereas, like, I think you'll have doctors smoking marijuana, you'll have lawyers smoking marijuana. Mm-hmm. I'm sure you'll probably even have some cops smoking marijuana if they can get away with it. You know, but it's basically, you know, it's kind of like, you know, keep it on the hush hush because it's frowned upon in society. You know, whereas I'm sure there's plenty of people that do it and realize there's nothing wrong with it, but you know they don't have the balls to put it out there.
Right.
And you know,
yeah, no, that's
and a lot of that, point. A lot of that is not even necessarily about like race or racial culture, but it might be about class too. Whereas, like, if you're like a doctor, you know, you don't want to say that if you're like this fucking surgeon, you might not want to tell people that you smoke weed in your free time, you know, because then that make you lose business. It might make you lose your job,
right?
You know. But, you know, if you have a lower paying job where, you know, they don't piss test and it's like, you know, who gives a fuck, you know? So it could be more of a class issue in that respect too.
Yeah, no, that's true.
You know? So, but yeah, I mean, I think, you know.
Well, yeah, I mean, and all I'm saying is that they would target these, like what he said something like, they said, stop pulling over hot white chicks.
And old and elderly people. Like basically they're like demographics. The demographics was like 16 to 24-year-old black like males. Like basically specifically like this is what we're after. So basically he was saying it was a specifically targeted war on drugs to that's the demographic you need to go after.
Yeah, and I mean you're right. Maybe if they have decided like, oh, we're gonna go after like middle class people like us, they probably would have found some drugs and they could have locked people up. But it's much easier to pick on a group of people that is just downtrodden, like the people that live in poverty in Baltimore, than to go after someone who's
real criminals.
Yeah, than someone who's gonna, you know, have some money to buy a lawyer and might get, you know, a jury of his peers to, you know, sympathize or whatever. But it's just much easier to just jack up some dude that's just been living on the streets his whole life. You know, and that's an easy quota hit right there. And
he also brought up the laws talking about the stop and frisk, but he brought up the Freddie Gray incident where he said they found a knife on him, but they're like, but there was no stop or frisk paperwork that was filed that we actually searched him.
Right.
You know, and then they're saying like, okay, it was a knife. Like he's like, who cares? Like. He's just like, you live in the hood, you probably want to have a knife.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, dude, if you live in the fucking country, you probably want to have a knife.
Yeah, if you live anywhere, you probably want to have a knife.
Right. If you have a job where you have to open up boxes, like, you probably want to have a knife.
But more so, like, sorry. Oh. But, like, more so in the ghetto.
Like, what he was saying
I mean,
is,
it's
like,
just way more dangerous than anything we deal with.
So basically he was saying that law exists in Baltimore City about, like, oh, you can only have a knife said size that's unassisted or whatever. Right. He said they come up with these arbitrary laws just to fuck with people.
Wait, it can't be assisted? It can't be open.
You can't. Yeah, exactly. Like that's what they were saying. Like his knife that he had on him was illegal.
Dude, so many knives you get. I bought a knife the other day, and it was like
I thought it was just switchblades. But is that?
It's yeah. I mean, I thought that's what I thought. I thought switchblades were illegal to carry, but I didn't know open assist was illegal to carry.
I haven't open assist.
But in Baltimore City, the laws laws are all different. So basically, he was just stating that like these laws just exist just to fuck with people to create arrestable charges so they can go down the road of like.
Right.
You know, we stopped him because whatever the case may be.
And then that led into his discussion on like private prisons, which is essentially why all these ridiculous laws are getting even worse and all this targeting is getting worse, is just so they can fill these prisons so that whoever's running them can make money.
For profit.
Word.
So, yeah, he said a lot of really cool shit, man, and he was really articulate.
So did he say why he stopped? Like
He fucked up
he
his
fucked
shoulder,
up his shoulder.
and had to like medically retire.
Yeah.
Like, he was in 11 years, and then
oh yeah, that's really cool too, because like he didn't get fired for like some like fucked up shit, and now he's like ratting on the boys.
No,
it's basically
yeah.
like it's kind of like
No, he had no reason to.
yeah.
In fact, he probably. I mean, he's definitely like. He's definitely catching a lot of fucking shit now. Like, he's really putting his neck out there. Like, I read, like, so they posted that link on Reddit, and I have this thing that shows me, like, all the, if I go to YouTube, it shows me all the different Reddits that a YouTube video is posted to. And one of them was, like, R Protect and Serve, which is, like, a cop subreddit. And I was just reading that, and they were just, like, just ripping into him. I mean, they weren't saying anything to argue. They were just like, oh, here's some guy that's just pissed off at the force, and he's just dragging our name through the mud. Just,
Oh, he's going out. He's breaking the thin blue line.
And then there were people like ripping on Joe Rogan, like, oh, he's just some millionaire.
Like it's so funny because like I don't know. There's like just so many people that want to just like fucking cry that cops are like being ragged on right now, and it's basically like. The only ragging that at least the ragging that I see, it's like somebody's posting an article of like a video of a cop doing some fucked up shit, Yeah. And people are yelling at that cop, but the shit happens like every fucking day. There's like a new fucking video, At what point is everybody going to stop calling these isolated incidents and realize that we have a problem?
Right.
We have a police state in this country.
Right.
Yeah, he was discussing that as well about, and the question was posed to him like, is it because more people are filming, or has this always been going on? And he said, well, like in Baltimore City, you have those police cameras, and he basically stated like, well, I knew what neighborhood I was in. If there was a bunch of those police cameras, then we acted accordingly. We minded our P's and Q's, but in other neighborhoods, it was like open season. It doesn't matter. But he said, yeah, definitely that filming cops has definitely reduced the amount of incidents. And he said,
it's funny because it's reduced them, but you still see a new one every fucking day.
Right.
It's just a new one every fucking day, and every day you're like, really? I mean, the guy has his body camera on. Is he really going to shoot this unarmed man who obviously poses no threat? It's every fucking day. It's like, you would think that in the age of videos, cops would stop doing this shit because there's fucking always a video.
Yeah, but was it like also amazing? This guy was just brutally honest. Like basically, like when he was saying about how like using lethal force, and that he had many opportunities to do it.
Well, I just said there's always a video, which I mean it's sad because there are going to be times when there is no video, and then it's like if there is this culture of violence within police, which there appears to be because you see a new fucking story every day. It's sad because you think about like. How many cops, if they know there isn't a video, are going to do, the wrong thing?
Right. Well, you said he had never fired his gun, right?
Yeah, he never did, and he was like...
I mean, this is a guy who, like, if every cop was this guy, we'd have an awesome police force. Say what you want about should we privatize police or not, but, like, I mean, this guy was just brutally honest. And
yeah,
like,
well, at the same time, did he say no to
no, but that's the thing.
To serving these quotas and stuff?
Right.
As a cop, or was it just like
no,
after
he did.
The fact?
And that's the thing. After the fact, I'm saying like if he went back in after the fact now, he would be. Because I mean, he was one who like got into it with the idea that he was making the world a better place. Like he legitimately believed it.
Yeah, like he came out of the Marines and.
Well, another thing that gets me.
He was also talking about how like. At least the Baltimore police are very poorly trained. Like he was like the requirements for like gun proficiency were just laughable. Like he said, basically the only way you could be a good cop would be if you had military experience, because most of the cops have no marksmanship skills, and you're asking them to carry around a gun and potentially shoot at people. And which is why they tell them to shoot center of mass, because it's the easiest place to hit someone. They're not accurate enough to just like wing the person or shoot them in the leg or anything like that.
Dude, you always want to shoot center mass. That's even when the famous gunfighters of the West.
Right.
You want to shoot center mass because it's going to be the easiest to hit your target right away, because you want to shoot them before they shoot you.
Right. Okay, fair enough. But
That's why you want to go for center mass.
Either
You
way,
know, if a gunfighter like would hit somebody in the head or the throat, they were probably just lucky
right.
or showing off.
And he was also saying how they were like not trained to do car chases, and apparently it's illegal for them, or it's not illegal, but it's the police department says that they're not supposed to chase after people, but the state says it's okay. So they can, as long as they don't, I guess, get caught by their superiors, and if their superiors don't do anything about it. I don't know. I thought that was interesting. I didn't know that.
Cops aren't supposed to chase people.
They're not supposed to chase. They're not supposed to go over like, what do you say, like 50 miles?
I don't know.
50 miles an hour.
I only watched the first hour. I got to watch the rest of it tonight. But
Or no, they're not 50 miles. I'm sorry. They're not supposed to go over like 10 miles over the speed limit. So I mean, technically, if you get pulled over and you're doing like 20, and he comes up behind you, he can't technically pull you over, according to the police department. Now, I'm not saying like run from the cop or anything, but I mean, you might be able to use that in court. I'm not sure how that works, but I thought that was interesting.
Huh.
Yeah, it was pretty eye-opening. But he basically...
We should probably try to get a lawyer on here one week. And they'll just blow our minds with their vast, learned knowledge of the law.
Dude, I don't want to be in a room with a lawyer, man.
What do you think, dude?
Maybe if he Skypes in.
Okay, if he Skypes in. No, seriously.
Unless
I don't
he's
know.
a good lawyer, like a civil rights attorney or something.
Yeah, I mean, there are some good lawyers out there. Dude.
Yeah.
It's
But there's a lot of bad ones.
Yes, there is.
So you wanted to talk about something to do with a cop? Do you remember now?
Oh,
Did you smoke that away?
Yeah, what about that cop earlier this week who was in the video, like basically telling off the security guard against like warrantless searches and seizures, and he was just basically talking about how he swore an oath to uphold the Constitution.
Yeah, that's pretty awesome.
Yeah, I mean that was really cool, and it's like I like when something like that happens because I will post it.
Right.
And it's like, I don't know, what it always makes me think of is just basically like all the people that are like ragging on us for posting like stories of cops doing fucked up shit. Well, while it isn't everybody, there is like this element that seems to like comment that shit right below the post of a video of a cop doing something that's really fucked up.
Right.
And it's just like, whoa, man, this is like fucking battered wife syndrome, It's just it's fucking ridiculous. It's Stockholm syndrome.
Yeah.
For the police state. It's I don't know. It's just people just need to wake up. It's nice to see that people are waking up, but it just gets so tiring.
Yeah.
So tiring.
Yeah, and I mean, like you said before, having the racial component helps. I don't know if I want to use that word, but I guess it sort of helps.
Well, I think it helps. It helps in the eye of some, and then it helps in the eyes of some. It might not help in the eyes of others. It's depending on who you're talking to. I mean, I think you.
Well, it helps. Okay, it helps to get the liberals at least.
Yeah.
I mean, it doesn't help the conservatives because conservatives already don't like black people.
Well, not all the conservatives.
I'm just kidding, but
not all the conservatives. But
no.
I think it does. It does speak to liberals a bunch.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
So, I mean,
the more people we can get on our side, the better.
Yeah, I mean, when you're talking to different people, you if you're going to be smart and you're going to be strategic, you always have to kind of judge your audience.
Yeah.
And
like I rarely post anything like on my own personal feed that's like economic related or like free market related. But I will post shit about the drug war. I will post shit about police brutality. I have posted shit about gun control, though. But, just because, like, most of my friends on Facebook are liberals and that aren't libertarians are liberals. So, I mean, it's something that I know they can, that they'll listen to. And so if I can just come at it from that angle and get them on board, that's progress.
Yeah, I mean, I think there is something to be said for that. It's on my own personal Facebook page. Like I've had periods where like, I was posting like 2-3 political things every day. Nowadays, I don't do as much because I mostly get on Facebook to do punk rock libertarians.
Yeah.
I'm rarely participating in like Matt Bergman Facebook. I scroll through the feed and like my friend's post or whatever, but if I'm writing something down, like a thought that's political, I just post it on Punk Rock Libertarians usually.
Yeah. I mean, you're going to get more traction that way.
Yeah, I mean, I can have 100,000 people see me that way, and the other way, it's like, I don't know, maybe I've annoyed some of my friends throughout the years.
Yeah.
It's
I've probably
like,
annoyed so many.
I mean, I know a couple have been annoyed, but I also know I'll post shit and I'll have 80 people like it sometimes. So, I mean, there are definitely people that are into it.
But those people are already on PRL, right?
Yeah, I mean, well... a lot, and then sometimes you get people that aren't, sometimes you better reach out to, other sides of the aisle on issues,
By the way, I'm not sure how many people are coming to this podcast through like iTunes and not through the website, but we have a website. It's punkrocklibertarians.com.
And yeah, we update it every day.
Yeah.
We've got like generally at least like 5 articles posted per day. Some days are slower than others. Some days we might have a dozen.
Yeah.
So
and we'll post news articles. We'll post fan-submitted opinion pieces or whatever, anything.
Yeah, once again, anybody can submit an article.
Yeah.
It doesn't mean that we will approve it if you try to troll us,
Yeah.
But
It's not like it automatically goes up, but...
Yeah, but we'll even edit it and correct your spelling, grammar errors, the ones that we catch, and then we'll try to make you sound as smart as possible. I mean, basically any fucktard can write an article for PR.
Basically,
no, but anyway,
yeah.
so we want to make this a community where we got a lot of people pitching in, working towards this. And not elitist. Anybody can write an article.
Yeah.
As long as you're not trolling us, we'll put it up.
Right.
So that's the type of community that we're striving for. So more people should take advantage of it. We had somebody submit an article from Denmark recently.
Yep.
And what was the other one? Was that Poland?
It was Sweden.
Was it Sweden?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean we're PRL is essentially going worldwide.
We're worldwide, bitches.
What was that?
Worldwide.
So yeah. I mean, that's pretty fucking rad. So, just get up there and write some shit. Because, I know there's a lot of writers out there. And, we found some writers like, say, Paul Keller, for instance. Like, Wayne Middlestat, Dave Jones. Those are all, like, guys that have, contributed, a fair amount. And, they're great writers,
Mm-hmm.
It's basically like Paul Keller. Like, I read his stuff, and I was like, wow, how is this guy not writing for like Reason magazine?
Right.
I mean, the guy's really good. And, Wayne and Dave are great in that aspect too, but yeah, we need to get more writers. We've had a lot of people submit articles, but, you always want more. Let's fucking build this shit up. Let's do it. Libertarian is DIY, you know? It's, I know people want to get shit like this out there, it's, I came at this from, I just started a fucking Facebook page. I'm not like fucking, I never went to college, I'm not accredited or certified, I'm certifiable maybe, but, I'm just an asshole who started a Facebook page, and then, Jared built a website, and then, so, we just fucking did this shit, dude. So just write an article, because we've created the podium for you to speak on. Yeah,
and every article goes up on the page, which has 102,000 people, 2,000 fans.
Yep.
We wish more of those fans would see our posts, but still a decent amount do.
Yeah, man. We get hundreds of thousands of views per month. So, put your shit up.
Yeah.
Put your shit up. So, is that we have any other more topics tonight?
Oh, you want to hit on that the guy who got arrested for sex on the beach?
Oh yeah,
or the guy and girl.
Yeah, like we talked about this a while ago, but so basically in I believe it was Florida, this couple was caught having sex on the beach. Most everybody's probably heard about it, and you probably also heard this week that the guy got 2.5 years in prison.
Just the guy though.
Yeah, just the guy.
Would the girl get,
apparently the
probation?
girl was on top. So the dude just lay there with a boner, you know, and he's getting 2.5 years.
Oh, jeez.
That seems like sexist as a motherfucker.
I don't know, right?
Definitely.
Yeah, where are all the Tumblr freaks on this one?
Yeah, I don't know, dude. But yeah, so the dude gets 2.5 years, and apparently, like, some of the witnesses even said, like, we're not even sure if they were having sex. They could have been just been dry humping, you know, because the video doesn't definitely show penetration.
Right.
You know, there could have been some that there may not have. You know,
Who cares?
yeah. Well, I mean, who cares?
Either
I
sex
don't
on
know.
the beach
I mean,
is a bad idea to begin with.
Yeah,
a lot
I
of
mean-
sand and abrasives, and not good.
Yeah, it's
but
not-
anyways,
some
not
people
really
like that.
conducive. But hey, if
people
that's
like
what
to
you're
shave.
into,
But yeah, I mean, 2.5 years is just absurd.
yeah.
I mean, and then he's going to go on a sex offender list. And, you know, life is pretty much ruined at that point.
Yeah, sex offender list. You know, like what kind of jobs are not going to hire you?
Right.
You know.
Yeah.
What kind of neighborhoods are you not going to be able to live in?
Yeah, his life
He's
is
just-
pretty much fucked by the state.
Man, that sucks.
America.
Yeah, I mean, it's basically, you know, okay, so yeah, you shouldn't have sex on a public beach, you know, but I mean, jail time, you know, like why not just do a fine?
Yeah,
you
why
know?
not? Yeah. I'd be okay with a fine.
Yeah, or I mean, it's basically it's an asinine thing to do. Nobody's saying that you should have sex on the beach. You know, you've got people walking with their kids around and stuff. You know.
Yeah.
But I mean, you know, even if you were walking there with your kids, I think most people would just like, well, kids, not this way, you know.
Right.
And chances are your kids are young
Looking at
enough; they
porn
don't know what the
anyways.
fuck's going on anyways,
Probably,
or maybe
yeah.
they are looking at porn anyways.
Yeah.
Like, you know, you've got those two options. You know, it's not the fucking.
Or they
It's
already
not
know
the end
what's
of the
up.
Matrix, you know.
Yeah.
I mean,
Your kid's
it's
not going to be traumatized for life over that shit.
yeah. I mean, they're going to learn about it somewhere. You know, chances are you just walk the other way. You know, and you know that's the end of that. You know.
Yeah.
It's I don't know. You know, it just seems to be really fucked up when you think about like I believe it costs like $40,000 to $60,000 a year depending on where you are to keep somebody in prison, you know? So by those calculations, you're making like you're spending like $100,000 to like $160,000 to encage this guy for 2.5 years. So that's money that's going to be extorted from you know, the quote unquote, you know, from the taxpayers,
Right.
you know. And you know, how's that fucking conservative?
That's a conservative thing to do, man.
How's that conservative? You know.
Yeah, we gotta. We can't allow the children to see.
You got to think of the children, Matt.
the children.
Yeah, well, you know, if you're conservative and if you believe in small government, you don't want to pay for large government or a tyrannical police state. You know. It's you know, I mean, the bottom line is
Out of sight, out of mind,
whether
though.
you're right or left, you know, just fucking believe in freedom for all. You know, just quit all these major arguments and just once and for all call for freedom for all.
Right.
You know, that's all the libertarians are asking, really.
That's all we really want.
Word.
Church. All right.
Yeah.
That's the list, man.
So, yeah, I guess that's it for this week. Yeah, and until next time, have a good one.
See ya.
What's your plan for tomorrow? Are you a leader or will you follow? Are you a fighter or will you cower? It's our time to take back the power. What's your plan for tomorrow? Are you a leader or will you follow? Are you a fighter or will you cower? It's our time to take back the power. What you gonna do when they show up in black suits on your street in army boots? And then silence you. What you gonna say when they strip your rights away and the tax man makes you pay for every bit of sweat you've had today? We don't need to run and hide. We won't be pushed off to the side. What's your plan for tomorrow? Are you a leader or will you follow? Are you a fighter or will you cower? It's our time to take back the power. What's your plan for tomorrow? Are you a leader or will you follow? Are you a fighter or will you cower? It's our time to take back the power. Who you gonna trust when the judge is so unjust and the jury must discuss? Say you don't look like one of us. now the court has been adjourned, and the lessons that you've learned are not as many as the bridges burn. We don't need to run and hide. We won't be pushed off to the side. What's your plan for tomorrow? Are you a leader or will you follow? Are you a fighter or will you cower? It's our time to take back the power. What's your plan for tomorrow? Are you a leader or will you follow? Are you a fighter or will you cower? It's our time to take back the power. We don't need to run and hide. We won't be pushed off to the side. What's your plan for tomorrow? Are you a leader or will you follow? Are you a fighter or will you cower? It's our time to take back the